friends. Of course, Dr. Stephen here in my study, and I just wanted to take a few moments and just kind of have a little personal chat with you and thank you all and just share what I hope have been some of the results of this class that we've had, this blended graduate practicum and the Masters of Leadership Capstone project. You know, a few semesters back, before the pandemic, the main purpose of especially the graduate practicum class, or at least from my vantage point, the main purpose was kind of just an opportunity to have some field practice and then some accountability structures in there for, to log in the times and get the supervisors to sign things off. And that's not unimportant, and it's probably a valuable exercise at one level. But then the pandemic hit, and that all but just shut down the possibility of many opportunities to even, physically volunteer for ministry. And so Dr. Frank Marco and I began to talk and have a dialogue and thought, how can we steer this? How can we kind of change it a bit so that it becomes maybe even more beneficial to students that are finishing up their seminary degrees and trying to figure out what has God done and how has God used the seminary education in their future ministry endeavors. So that's kind of what launched the way that I've approached this class this last semester. Instead of just logging in hours, I tried to present a variety of other voices to communicate to you through some of those interviews that you saw, the video interviews and the dialogue, the subsequent discussion posts that went back and forth. And I just enjoyed them so much. I hope you did as well. One last thing I just want to say is that if you remember from one of the early video interviews we did with my pastor and friend, Dr. Glenn Packiam, talking about that constellation of mentors. And if you remember, he made kind of that interesting analogy about, sages and, counselors and the different kinds of mentoring relationships. And he talked about fellow warriors, people that are in the battle with him, and that he has a monthly meeting, actually, a monthly Zoom meeting with a handful of other guys that are kind of in the same position of ministry and leadership that he is. Well, I'd like to encourage you all to continue relationship with one another. Now, there's a practical dynamic to this. As a professor at a university, the King's University, I cannot facilitate the sharing of personal contact information between you all, thanks to government bureaucracy and FERPA, which is the Federal Educational Right to Privacy Act. So while I can't do that, I can encourage you to do that. So for the time being, you have each other's names, you have the platform, even of our discussion threads. So this week, I'm going to just kind of open it up. You can share with one another. And if you feel comfortable sharing perhaps a private email or your cell phone number or something like that, don't worry, nobody will see it other than those of us in this class. But if you want to do that, it might be good for everyone to take that information down. And I would encourage you all to continue in relationship and dialogue with one another, because it really does help us in the trenches when we're talking with other people that speak the same language as us, so to speak. Well, I just believe God has incredible things in store for every one of you, and it has been my honor to get to know you guys. And this is kind of a different sort of class, very different from most of the academic stuff you've done, and frankly, very different from the academic stuff that I've taught and taken as well. But I hope it has not just been a futile endeavor, but that it's been something that will be helpful for you as you guys graduate and as you proceed on in the call that God has put on your life. And I just want to pray and speak blessing over you, because I really believe that you're going to be world changers. And it's my honor to serve you in any way. If any of you need in the future any kind of, academic reference, some of you I know have the bug, and you're going to probably continue on for doctoral work. And if you need a professor's evaluation or professor's reference, please reach out to me personally, and I will be delighted to do that, and I'll do it enthusiastically. So I want to say God bless you guys, and it's an honor knowing you, and I hope you'll include me in some of those future dialogues as ministry leaders and all. So Lord bless you, and let's have a great graduation for those of you that are walking in a few weeks.